Now to the already contentious fight over the next Supreme Court justice. We turn to two members of the Senate Judiciary Committee who will be deciding Judge Kavanaugh's fate. I first spoke earlier today with Senator Orrin Hatch, a Republican from Utah. Senator Hatch, welcome to the NewsHour. The last justice nominated by President Trump, Neil Gorsuch, last year was confirmed by the Senate, by a 54-45 vote, 3 Democrats in favor. Is Judge Kavanaugh going to have an easier or a harder time?
Well, I think he should have an easier time, but I don't know. It's become such a politicized process that by the Democrats, I have to say, and even some Republicans, that who knows. But I hope that he can get a number of Democrats to vote for him, because he's just one of the most outstanding candidates for the court it could possibly be.
Well, the Democrats are saying they plan to go through all of his writing, something like, what is it, over 3,000 opinions,
right.
300 on the appeals court alone. Is that a fair request?
Yeah, they're entitled to do that. On the other hand, if they think that he's got to write, or he should have written exactly what they think he should have written, that's not fair either, because any two people can look at things in a different way. But I think the Democrats, hopefully they'll be a little more open to voting for him this time.
Well, as you know, Senator, the Democrats are saying they're going to fight this nomination. They're already pointing to their worry about Roe versus Wade, about whether it'll be overturned, and particularly they're pointing to a decision that Judge Kavanaugh wrote pretty recently that would not have allowed a young immigrant woman to access an abortion. Are they right to be concerned about that?
No, but the fact of the matter is that seems to be the single sole issue that they're interested in. I think they have more interest in that, but every time we get to one of these judgeship nominations, that becomes the single sole issue to Democrats. I wish we could move off of that and count on the people we know are honest, we know they're decent, we know they have the intelligence, and he has all of these things. And we know that, yeah, he's in a different party, but the party is now in the majority, and he ought to have support. But, you know, it's gotten so political around here that they even politicize these type of nominations, and that's, I think, wrong.
Can you guarantee Democrats, though, Senator, that if Judge Kavanaugh is confirmed that Roe versus Wade would not be overturned?
Well, I don't think anybody's going to overturn Roe versus Wade. It's a settled opinion. That, yeah, a lot of conservatives would like to see it overturned, but actually he's got bigger fish to fry. He's going to have all he can handle to handle current cases that come before the court. So I doubt seriously that that's really a legitimate concern. I think it becomes a false concern so that they can vote against people like this good judge. And frankly, I think it's pathetic that one issue like that would cause an otherwise really outstanding person to have the Democrats go against him.
Well, the Democrats are also talking, Senator, about the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. As you know, it's been weakened under the Trump administration. Democrats say they worry that as issues move up to the Supreme Court, that Judge Kavanaugh would move to weaken it even further. Is that what you'd expect?
Well, that is one of the most convoluted, huge messes that we've done in recent years. It's going to need a lot of work in the future by both Democrats and Republicans if we're going to not bankrupt our country. So it becomes an excuse to just tear apart a nominee's reputation that I find really reprehensible.
Two other quick things, Senator. As you know, Judge Kavanaugh wrote a law review article in which he argued that presidents should not be subject to indictment, to subpoena even. And they look at that as something that President Trump would have viewed favorably because of the investigations that he's dealing with right now. How do you see?
Well, they're not saying that he can't be indicted after he leaves office. They're saying while he's in office, his office should not be interfered with unless there's some really, really bad thing that happens. So, you know, I don't know many people who would disagree with what some of the Republicans feel on that regard. But I think that's an overblown issue that really shouldn't even be part of this discussion, although I don't blame people for raising it if they want to.
Senator, finally, are you concerned about the handful of Republican senators who are said to potentially have some problems with Judge Kavanaugh on a number of issues? Susan Collins, a senator from Maine, Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, even Rand Paul from Kentucky.
Well, that's par for the course. I mean, you're going to always have some Republicans and Democrats who wish that the judge would meet every standard that they set. But that's not realistic. That's not the way the country operates. If we demanded that everybody be exactly the way I am, that's not right.
But this is so close, you can't afford to lose any Republicans, can you?
No, we can't afford to lose any, and I don't think we will. But you never know. All I can say is that there are a lot of phony issues that come up around these Supreme Court nominations. But in this particular case, I mean, I think they're going to find that this man's not only a really fine, great man and a good family man and a very intelligent judge, but that he can do a very, very good job on the court. And, you know, that's all we can ask for, it seems to me.
Senator Orrin Hatch, thank you very much for joining us.
Nice to be with you, Judy.